Hello, Carnage Cravers. Welcome back to Carnage Corner. I am Ken Carnage, and this is, well, my Carnage Corner. I already said that. Look at me. I'm tripping already. Alrighty, well, we are back, and this should be our last effort in getting ready for Batman v Superman. And we're doing that in classic Carnage style by, talking about all of the, well, successes, failures, sputters and stops, all the things that DC has done in the past. Now, we've already gone from 1978 and all the way up to 2006. So next thing we're going to do is jump forward to 2008, and we're going to talk about the second film in the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, The Dark Knight, starring Christian Bale as the gravelly-voiced Dark Knight, the Heath Ledger as the absolutely haunting portrayal of the Joker, Aaron Eckhart killing it as Harvey Dent, and then later as Two-Face, and of course Michael Caine, who brings you a great performance as Alfred Pennyworth. And of course, this was directed by Christopher Nolan, and basically this film set the bar. It set the bar for all the comic book films that came after it to try and reach. That's what's going on there. Is it set the bar? The film was amazing. I literally, I have nothing bad to say about this film. That's saying something. It just from start to end. I mean, that beginning sequence with the Joker robbing the bank and all the buses, just oh god, and it's just an amazing, amazing film. The Dark Knight gets a 9 out of 10. It's damn near perfect. Honestly, most of us as fans, we didn't know how on earth they could possibly top that, and of course they didn't. So it earned a whopping $1 billion worldwide, making it at the time the highest grossing comic book film in history. So and of course it would stay that way until the Avengers. I don't remember the numbers on the Avengers, but I'm pretty sure Avengers outdid it. But even still, the Dark Knight, a definite force to be reckoned with. And then jumping forward again, we're going to go to 2009 with Watchmen. This was DC's first ever R-rated comic book film. And it starred Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the comedian, Patrick Wilson as Night Owl, and it was directed by Zack Snyder, who of course had done 300. This film opened up to 181 million worldwide, which definitely isn't bad when you think about the idea that it was R-rated, which essentially cuts out half of your movie-going audience. And as for the effect of the film, it got mixed reviews. A lot of people got confused, and a lot of people didn't follow it. They didn't understand it. So, that being said, you had a lot of people who just got confused with the film. I for one, I loved the film. I thought it was great. I especially liked Jackie Earle Haley's portrayal of Rorschach. It was perfect. It was amazing. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the comedian, again, this is inspired casting. It's, again, perfect. I was not a big fan of the Night Owl or the Silk Spectre that they had, or the entire storyline concerning them. Yes, I know that it was done almost frame for frame as the comic, but I just felt like we didn't need that, you know. But all in all, this is a film, an awesome, awesome film. I give it a 7 of 10. It had problems, but it's a good film. One that I enjoy watching and one that has rewatchability. I can watch it over and over and over again. Jump forward a little bit more to 2011 to Green Lantern, starring Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan and Mark Strong as Sinestro. This film was directed by Martin Campbell, and it grossed $219 million worldwide. Okay, and this was DC. DC was starting to take a look at what Marvel was doing. And they're like, you know what, we want to do a cinematic universe. So this was going to be their first attempt at starting one. And pretty much just shot the shit out of that, yeah. It really dashed the fans' hopes for a Justice League, because all in all, the film was bad. Ryan Reynolds was good. Ryan Reynolds, he was not the problem with that film. And neither was the stuff they did on Oa. All the stuff they did on Oa was bang on. It was awesome. But all the other parts of the script, okay? Excuse me. Also, this film decided to follow the Fantastic Four theory of, we need a huge villain, let's get a giant poo cloud. Yeah, Green Lantern fought a giant yellow poo cloud. Not cool, man. Not cool. This film shouldn't have even come back to Earth. Start on Earth, have Hal go to Oa, start his training, and have him have to solve a problem out in space. The film taking place on Earth was lazy. All in all, this one gets a 6 out of 10. It is not the worst film ever made, but it's not exactly a good film either. I can enjoy it for what it is, but what it is a film that has some problems. Okay, now we're going to go, the following year, 2012, we got The Dark Knight Rises, the final chapter to the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, starring Christian Bale as Batman, Tom Hardy as Bane, Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, and Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. Again, directed by Christopher Nolan. This was supposed to be the film. This was going to be the biggest film ever. That's what we thought. This was going to be the biggest film ever. And it opened big. It grossed over $1 billion worldwide. So it's not a flop by any stretch of the imagination, not at all. But one of the it ended the Batman trilogy and left us all wondering, well, what's next? The film as a whole, it's a good film, but they had some problems with the script, and it made the film feel somewhat fragmented. There's just a couple of glaring things that made you go, huh? What? How does that work? That doesn't seem right. Yes, if you get that, if you're really nitpicking. All in all, the film's good. I don't remember. It may have been my favorite film of that year. I loved the film, but excuse me. I think a lot of people were expecting Nolan to outdo The Dark Knight. And, of course, it didn't outdo The Dark Knight because you couldn't outdo The Dark Knight. You just couldn't. So, that being said, The Dark Knight Rises comes in at a very, very respectable 8 out of 10. So, it's by no means got a bad score. It's a great film. But, again, it is a film. It had it had a couple of little hiccups in it, you know. I probably could have given it a 7, but I do love the film. You know, Bane being my favorite Batman villain. You know, I'm just very much inclined. It was a good bookend to the story, and so I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8. And now, the last film before Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is 2013's Man of Steel, starring Henry Cavill as Clark Kent for most of the film. He becomes Superman at the end. But, okay, so Henry Cavill, Amy Adams as Lois Lane, and Michael Shannon as General Zod. This was directed by Zack Snyder, the man who brought us Watchmen, and it opened to $661 million worldwide. And it had a lasting effect. It caused some controversy. We got a new, grittier Superman. You know, I think Snyder was trying to take a more realistic take on the hero, I guess, kind of bring him into our world. And he succeeded in that effect. It was a much better film than than Superman Returns. It was truly a Superman for our generation. Good thing it took Superman in a new direction, you know, which Superman kind of needs to go in a new direction, because in a lot of cases he would be considered boring today if you don't, you know, create some new dynamics to go along with him. But then again, you got a lot of hardcore fans who don't like emo Superman, which is what they called him. I don't even really know what emo means, but because they called him that because he seemed to be grumpy and moody and I guess feeling sorry for himself, which, I mean, not for nothing, you can't exactly put down the guy. I mean, the guy, when you think about it, Superman probably would have a chip on his shoulder, to the extent of he is alone in the universe. He has people that love him, but he's alone and he doesn't know how to process it. You know, he's got emotions just like anybody else. And, you know, but neither here nor there. So that's just what some people said. Myself, personally, I don't like the Superman character. I don't like him in the comics. You know, I appreciated the Richard Donner Superman films for what they were when they came out, but I would hardly ever say I was a Superman fan. But I liked this film. I did like this film. Matter of fact, I liked this film so much that even though, again, I'm not a Superman film, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. And it leads us right up going into Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which is coming out it's a couple of weeks at this point. Couple of weeks. In a couple of weeks, we get to see Batman don his mechanical battle suit and bust Superman up. How long have we been waiting to see that? Now all we can do is hope that Ben Affleck does a better job than I think he's going to do. I've been a Ben Affleck detractor on the role of Batman from the beginning. At this point, all I can say is, God, I hope he proves me wrong. But that being said, you're all caught up now. Drop down in the comments section. Tell me what you think. Have I lost my mind? Am I a blithering idiot? You tell me. Okay, but whatever you tell me, leave a like, subscribe, come back and listen to me spout off, can't talk. In either case, I am Ken Carnage. This is Carnage Corner. And remember, until next time, Carnage is right around the corner.